I think the biggest challenge to the Democratic Party and to democracy is this massive media disadvantage that we're at. The right wing has spent decades building up a massive, essentially, propaganda apparatus that drives political conversation in America. We think about it in the context of Fox News, but it's so much more than that, and it is powered by Facebook. And it is why 70% of Republicans believe that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. It's why, still to this day, a large plurality of Republicans believe Barack Obama was born in Kenya. It's why they don't believe in climate change. It's why we can't get the daily rates of vaccination are slowing down. It's why in the middle of COVID, we couldn't get people to wear a simple piece of cloth on their face. It is the single biggest problem we have. And there are long-term solutions to it, medium-term solution, because at our current rate, we're not going to make it to the long term. So we're going to have to sort of speed that up. But the best thing we have going for us as Democrats is everyone on this call. People, the same people who knock on doors, who text, who give $10 where they can. I think one of the mistakes, it's gotten better over years, and groups like Demcast and others have done better. But ultimately, for many, many years in the internet age, we've asked our volunteers, super smart, accomplished people, to read from scripts in phone calls and at doors, and to not take advantage of all of their abilities. And the fact that the vast majority of Americans are walking around with a network of a couple hundred people. That could be your Facebook friends, it could be your Instagram friends, your Twitter followers, the people in your phone contacts, the group chats you're in with your family, your friends from college or high school, your coworkers, your fantasy football league, your book club, whatever that is. And we don't ask people to serve as communicators. We have, and I was very guilty of this in my days in my earlier days in politics, of top-down messaging, right? Here are the people who speak, politicians and political operatives. We don't trust anyone else on our campaign to do anything other than read a script. What we can do now is we have to mobilize all of our supporters or all of our online activists and give them the tools to carry the message. Because that is the only way we're going to be able to compete with Fox News and Facebook and Dan Bongino and all the other terrible stuff that's happening up there, is by giving people the tools and the messaging. And we give them the messaging by treating them like adults, right? Reading them in on the play. Here is why this is important. Here's what the polling says about why it's important. Here are some of the things you can say. Here are the arguments you can make, and then trust them to go make their arguments on behalf. And it is not easy. I don't suggest I'm not trying to say it is easy. It is hard work. Repetition is what is the core of messaging. And I'm sure it can be painful and boring. I would let you know that Barack Obama himself hated giving his stump speech over and over again because he found it boring. So if he can find it boring and do it, we all can too. And so I just wanted to thank everyone, and just also have everyone recognize the importance, because it can feel a little bit like we are spitting in the ocean, because you're going to constantly bump up against people who you cannot, whose minds cannot be changed. Many of them are your uncle. Many of them sit next to you at Thanksgiving dinner. But every single person we persuade helps. But the other way to think about it is every person that you give the message to is a force multiplier, because now it is spreading exponentially, because you're hopefully asking them to do it as well. And all of that progressive messaging is sort of throwaway that helps shift the conversation ever so much a little bit back more to the left in American politics. And so I just want to thank everyone for doing it. It is incredibly important work. I'm so excited about Demcast and everything you guys are doing, because it's the thing that I've wanted this party to do for a very long time. And it's so great to see a grassroots group embrace it like this.